saying I go live, and I wasn't sure that I'm live because it was doing a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Never mind. Sorry that I'm on so late, but I don't know. Bucky said to me, "Are you home yet?" This was in the car. I said, "No." She said, "Wow, it was some trip." I said, "No, we're home from New York. We've been in Pennsylvania all day." So Jimmy and I went to Pennsylvania all day, not Gettysburg. Not Gettysburg. And look at this. I just spilled something on me. That's great. Hold on. What the heck is wrong with me? Not Gettysburg, but not too far from Gettysburg. Went to right around the private airport. So anyway, we had a busy day, and it's been crazy. Then we got home, and we had a friend call, so we were on the phone a long time with that. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like 1:11. Maybe I should turn my computer on and see what's going on. So I've been out of the loop with any of the true crime stuff, obviously, because we were away. And so we're going to do some catch up now. So some cases that caught my eye were about a wife whose husband hid her Xanax, so she bludgeoned him to death. Don't hide. What's the moral of the story, kids? Don't hide anybody's medication, and don't put your hands on anybody's medication. Okay? There's something called boundaries. The second thing is a anti-toxin blogger from Iowa pled guilty to poisoning her husband with eye drops. Third, I did that, and that's why I'm late too, because I listened to, it's over a half an hour, interview with Gregg's bio dad. I am so confused by this whole thing, because this man was painted out to be a bunch of things, but listening to him, there's a lot more to this story, folks. Okay, so we're going to look at that. And then Gypsy Rose. People say she's missing, aside from a photo that Ken posted on his Instagram. Some people say it's because she's living full-time with Ken. Don't believe that, because we already knew that. It's more likely that she's filming the Lifetime series, and they do not want her posting on Instagram, social media at the time. That's what I think is more likely. Okay, anyway, we're going to go ahead and go through all of this. I need to go to YouTube to make sure you guys are here. And then I'm on YouTube. I am on YouTube. Okay, good. All right. Hello, Kevin. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody on TikTok. Hello, Patty's World. Hi, Betty. How are you? Thanks for watching. And I know it's, what time is it? And it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. So most of you are probably going to be watching this on the replay. That's okay. Hey, Celia Davis. How are you? That's okay. Hi, Candy. How are you? Hi, Sylvia. Sheila. Welcome. Thank you. Hi, Des on TikTok. Okay, let me get right to it. We're going to do the Iowa blogger first, okay? Okay. Oh boy. Let me get her photo up here. This is her. I know her. I think it's ironic that I guess this is her photo that's being used about social media, and she's guilty for poisoning her husband with eye drops, yet she has her eyes closed on these photos. Okay, and I don't know why she's not coming over, but Red Rover, will the woman that poisoned her husband with the eye drops come on over? Okay. She's come on over. This, would you believe, their home was in Pleasantville, Iowa. Doesn't that sound idyllic? They lived in Pleasantville, Iowa. Oh, dear, they must have had such a wonderful life. No, not actually, okay? 39 years old, this woman is. And she was like fixated, is what they said, on toxins, harmful chemicals, all of that stuff. But she pled guilty to 2 counts of administering harmful substances and domestic abuse that caused bodily injury. That's in the Marion County Court records. She pled guilty, again, to 1 count each, and is accepting, according to an order, accepting her plea and setting sentencing. Daisy Zanter. She admitted during an interview that she administered a harmful substance on 2 separate occasions called tetrahydroxylene hydrochloride to her husband, Alan. This was in July of 2023. On or about the above date and time, the defendant, Daisy Zanter, did administer a harmful substance known as tetrahydroxylene to her husband, Alan. The domestic abuse charging documents elaborate on that, saying on or about the date stated and the time the defendant committed domestic assault against her husband, Alan, causing injury to him by giving him the tetrahydroxylene in his drink without his knowledge. Okay, so several years earlier, a series of LinkedIn blog posts warning about the prevalence of chemicals in everyday household products were published by a woman with the same name. The anti-toxin author of those posts and the person that took the plea appear to be the same person. And that's according to the Pleasantville Police Chief, Joe Mystic. She said in some of these posts, and I quote, "I am a Christian woman who wants to do right by her family, and part of that is keeping them free from harmful chemicals and other toxins that could destroy their body. It's like feeding someone arsenic," she wrote on another post just a day or 2 later than that one. It's not going to kill that person slowly. It's not going to kill the person right away. It's killing them slowly. And so she put a lot of posts out there. She said, "I want to see if others who care about themselves join me in being toxic free and financially free." So what she was doing here when she's talking about these antitoxins, yeah, she's passionate about not having toxins, but she's also talking about a business. And it was network marketing, which she was doing here, especially on LinkedIn. So these were network marketing posts about going toxic free, and then message her, "I'll give you my website." She says, if you're looking to do something or buy something, would you go to get information from friends, or would you actually do your own research? When I first started my business, I saw a video exposing the toxins hiding in my everyday products. Not only was I shocked, but I also had to see for myself. So yeah, well, why did she put the eye drops in his drink, right? Exactly. So Um, thankfully, he didn't die. But, come on, she's going to be sentenced on November 7th. So, it's just crazy. But, mentioned she's a Christian woman. Mentioned she doesn't like toxins. But then she uses something toxic to try to kill her husband. Anyway, that's the first story. And it's ironic. The second one is a woman whose Xanax got touched by her husband, and she was not happy about that. Her reaction may seem extreme, but nevertheless, he's dead. Yeah. Okay. She actually beat her husband in a fit of rage. She is 61 years old. I'm just going to put her picture up here, okay? We're also going to look at some of the devastation that the hurricane and tropical storms have caused. So stay with us. We're going to be catching up on a lot of stuff. Constance Seinwell. It's her name is spelled funny, and I'm just laughing because it's I'm thinking about eye drops that we just covered, and this woman's name, if you look at it fast, it's Seeing Well. And seeing well, you're not seeing well if you're being poisoned by eye drops, but she didn't poison her husband with eye drops. She beat him to death because he touched her Xanax. Okay, so, yeah. Constance, we're going to put her up here. Hang on. Okay, Constance, let's go. Okay, here's Constance. We're going to make Constance bigger. Okay, so this happened in Universal City, Texas. Constance Seinwell, she was arrested, 61 years old, charged with the murder of killing her husband, 64-year-old Ronald Seinwell. It happened at their home in Guilford Forge in Universal City, Texas. The police reports say that officers arrived at their home, and when they did, they found the husband, Ronald, laying on the living room floor. He had signs of trauma to his head and to his torso, and they found blood was throughout the home. Not a good scene to walk in on. A neighbor had called police and said Constance was at her home, saying that she may have killed her husband. That must have been something for the neighbor, right? Constance, come on in. You want a cup of coffee or something? No, I think I might have killed him. My husband. Something. During the interview with Constance, she told officers that her and her husband got into an argument. At some point, she hit him and he fell to the ground. She continued hitting him after he fell to the ground. She said she couldn't remember what she hit him with. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. Okay, let's try to get some more information on this. Constance, what is going on? Oh boy. Okay. I wonder if she ever found, let's see if she ever found this Xanax. What is going on with this? And she can't remember what she hit him with. And 61 and 64. Okay. Let's see what's going on in this case here. I wonder if she had a social media presence. I don't know. I don't think she does. I'm just going to say that. I think... I don't think either one of them have one. Hang on. Oh my goodness, this is making me nuts. Come on, computer, we've had a lot of time to relax. Hang on, I'm just shutting down this thing over here. This is really getting me angry. So I hope everybody had a good day. We're going to talk a lot about the devastation, especially in North Carolina. Our Debbie D called in with a report while I was on the road. They're not going to have power restored until probably the restoration time is Friday. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And you know, when we were away, we did have some news playing at breakfast and, you know, in the room a little bit, and just saying that, like, you know, that North Carolina was just hit with destruction of biblical proportions. And so, yeah, prayers for everybody over there and everybody everywhere that's, you know, going through that, or missing people, or lost loved ones. Yeah, absolutely, prayers. Tough times. I mean, schools are closed where she is for the week, and just a lot of people missing. And hopefully those people just can't get in touch. Maybe they've lost their cell phones. Maybe they're not charged. Maybe, you know, their towers, all of that. But yeah, just we're going to take a look at some stuff, because, like I said, I've missed a lot being away. And I'm just trying to shut this other thing down here, because this frees up a lot of my memory when I shut this down. And we're going to go back on to find out about Constance here. Before I go on to the interview with Carly, Gregg's dad. So, hold on. There we go. That's down now. Good. Okay, I don't know what the heck. Okay. Thanks for hanging in with me. Alright, so let's go over here. I'm going to talk about the fight of the Xanax pills that led to Ronald Samuel Jr.'s death. So it was a fight over the Xanax that led to Constance killing her husband. The Universal City Police Chief, Johnny Siemens, said that detectives spent 4 hours on Wednesday interviewing the wife, Constance, and she admitted to killing her husband in a fit of rage. He had hid her Xanax from her. She was in an intoxicated state at that point already. Police found Ronald dead on the living room floor of their house in the 100th block of Rising Star. Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office identified him as Ronald Samuel Jr. Here they're saying he's 63. Other reports say 64. The neighbor called, again, 911 after Constance knocked on their door. She told them she killed her husband. Police chief said it appears as if Ronald was hit repeatedly with an object. Investigators later say they collected several objects from the home that could have been the murder weapon. Let's see. An anonymous neighbor said there was no hiding the fact that there was trouble in that couple's home. They fought all the time, even outside. You could hear them when they were getting out of their vehicles. One neighbor said in hindsight, she wishes someone, specifically loved ones, would have intervened on behalf of this particular couple. They had to have known what was going on between these two. I just wish they had taken them to some kind of counseling. So, yeah. He hid her pills. She bludgeoned him to death. Obviously, a history of volatile escalations in their relationship, and that was the last straw for Constance that day. Now, Ronald may have been trying to, or thought he was helping her, right? He might have said, "Look, you're drugged out of your mind, okay? You're intoxicated. You're drunk, whatever it was. I'm putting these pills away. You're not getting them. You're killing yourself." Whatever he said. Okay, the guy could have had the best of intentions. Just doesn't work that way. You know. Yeah, and she killed him. So yeah, that's that. That's all she wrote on that one. We'll see if there's any other stuff that comes out with that. And we're going to go to Carly Gregg's bio dad. And this interview that he did. He had not seen her since September of 2022. And he said the first time he heard from her again was when she called him from jail. It's a little odd because people thought he was dead. You know, it's just he's not dead, obviously. He does admit to being diagnosed as bipolar. He talks about trouble between both of them. He still says he loves Ashley and that he was married to her for nearly 10 years. But there are some things in here that are a little bit strange, like about Natalie. Natalie was a baby that was born that passed soon after birth. I'm not sure how long, but she was very young. And I think it was due to some chromosomal disorder or something genetic. When he's talking about that child here, he says, well, you know, she lost her daughter, but then he's talking about Carly But even until she lost her daughter, if it was we lost a child, I don't know. There's just, and then he says, well, she lost a daughter. You know how that can be with siblings or something. It was odd. I'll have to listen to it again. But then he gave that child's birth date very quickly. Now, in the request for a new trial for Carly, he did say that watching the video, there's no way that he could say she doesn't know right from wrong. He said she knows right from wrong 100%. He said that he was shocked, embarrassed. What else did he say? Shocked, embarrassed. He wanted to know why she did what she did, but how could he ever know why she did what she did? Could any of us? He doesn't want to get into her head. He just wants to help her find Jesus. He said that he taught her about Jesus through the Bible. Here he is, right here. Okay? It's right there. That's from the interview. And so the attorney said that he said in this interview that Carly had gone through equestrian therapy because she was having auditory hallucinations. And now others are saying, wait, because the attorney was saying, well, wait a minute, there's an edited video, there's an unedited video, and in the unedited video, this is when he says this. But now the news station itself is saying, hey, we went through the transcript, we're posting the unedited video, and we don't hear this. So where are they getting it from? So I don't know. I want to go listen again. I only had time to listen once, and I need to listen again because I was taking some notes, but then there was also other things going on. So I just want to make sure that I've listened, but I'll tell you my thoughts from my notes when I listened the first time, which I'm just pulling up right now. Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to stop touching my notes. My notes are advanced, but I'll just start from where... Okay, hold on. Get to the top here. This is unbelievable. Hang on. Is it retrograde yet? I can't believe it. It's October 1st. This is crazy. I've got to get my plants in from outside, even though it's going to be in the 70s all week. I don't know. Everywhere I went, it looked like all the plants and everything were dying. And I'm thinking like, well, oh my gosh, my plants are outside. But I've got to just realize they're not dying from... they're dying because like their growing cycle is over. It's not because it's cold, because it's not cold, and it's going to be warm all week. But I'm going to start preparing for all of my plants to come back inside. Anyway, let me open my mail again because it's just really totally being a jerk. My computer is just really being a jerk, and I know Video Reel get so nervous when I say that. Okay. Okay, if this doesn't open my mail, I'm going to open my mail from my phone and read you my notes because I wrote my notes to myself in my email. Okay, here we go. And White Angel, if you hear me, if you're here, White Angel, I just received 2 things from you. Thank you very much. Thank you very kindly. I'm going to be working on packaging tomorrow. Oh, speaking of the devastation in North Carolina, my guest tomorrow, listen to this one, lived in the area where they had to be evacuated. Okay. Then this guest that I'm having this time, okay, she's going to be actively doing something, okay, something that she needs electricity for, number one. It's a little bit different. It's going to be a different kind of an interview. So anyway, it was supposed to be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. She was evacuated, and listen to this one. She still thought everything was going to be okay because they got situated somewhere also in North Carolina where they thought it was okay until they found out that tomorrow they're going to be cutting all electricity off for, I think it's 4 hours, and it's like we were supposed to meet at 2 and it's between like 1 and 4 or something like that, to hook up generators or something like that. So we are rescheduling that, and somebody wanted to schedule with me, and it's a kind of a pretty intense interview that's coming up because of that it's a father and it's a son that's coming, and I've got their books. It's kind of intense, and I just wasn't ready just to swap that in. I don't want to do some half-assed, as Verizon would say, interview. I don't like doing half-assed interviews. So I, regrettably said, I don't want to do that. It's not fair to them. It's not fair, it's not fair to you guys. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. And I kind of, right now, I'm looking at my agenda, kind of like having that day, tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just looking. I thought I had something else scheduled, and I just got scared for a minute. I like having that free. Because I didn't book other things there, and I've got 2 interviews next week, 1 interview the next week already. So I really want to try to concentrate on some packing and things I have to do here. But like I tell you, best laid plans of mice and men. So I feel bad. I don't want our guest to be displaced or anything like that. I'm not happy about that. But I mean that she had to reschedule. I didn't want to put anything in that slot, and I want to try to get some of this packing that I need to get done. But thank you, White Angel. I did get your payment, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, let me go back, and we are going to look. What are we doing now? We're doing Carly Gregg's biodata. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I'm going to my email. That's what I was doing. Yes, Carolyn. Come on now. Right? Here we go. When I talk like that, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you. When I say, here we go, I'm getting something. Hang on with me for a minute. You know I'm talking to you. Okay. Here we go. All right, so he said that problems began when they split up, and Carly was 7 or 8 years old, and he said that Ashley was living in some kind of an A-frame. It sounds like by herself, and she said that she started to threaten Kevin that you're not going to see her when she was 7 or 8 years old. And again, this is his version, right? Ashley's not here to speak for herself, but we're talking about a reaction to an interview that he gave, right? And he and his character and his life was slammed, defamed, as he says, in court. Okay, so now he's got his chance to speak. Why the defense didn't speak with him or even call him or even talk to him, I don't know. He said there's so many lies about everything they said in court, so they started first off and said, well, do you have a bipolar diagnosis. He said, yes, I'll agree with that. I will agree with that. And they asked him what he was doing on March 19th, and he said, he was sitting out chilling and stuff like that. He hadn't seen Carly since October of 2022. The reason for that being is that he said that he had never fought with her or anything, but he claims the mother, Ashley, told Carly to tell her dad that she wanted to control the visitation, and he said it's because she hates him, meaning Ashley hates him. He says he still loves her. Yeah, he's married to her, right? So he says, he said, okay to Carly, I don't trust your mom, but you can call me when you want to see me. And the next call was from jail. And they asked how he felt when he found out what she did. He said, he was ashamed, embarrassed, upset. He loved Ashley. They were married for almost 10 years. He felt sorry for Heath. And speaking of Heath, the stepdad, he said that he never heard anything bad either from Ashley or Carly about Heath, except that Carly said Heath had no backbone and he couldn't stand up to Ashley. He said he didn't know anything about sentencing or parole or if she's still in jail. But he said, my daughter is very guilty. He said when he saw those videos, he said it was like he said to himself, who are you? I don't even know you. The girl knew right from wrong. That was a very dumb defense because they said, do you believe she didn't know right from wrong at that moment? No, he said that was a very dumb defense. But no one even called him. And then that brought him to something. He said we had joint legal custody, and he felt that any doctor that was prescribing medication for his daughter should have consulted with him. He said that Ashley was actively keeping max parental control on the daughter, okay? And so she was very controlling, is what he's saying, and then she drug him, is what he said, through 4 courts, attacking him. He said, maybe I should have been more proactive. Maybe I should have called CPS on Ashley for, using, mental manipulation, I think is what he said, on Carly at an early age. And then he said something like, well, as a juvenile, you have a chance at parole. And the reporter said, no, she will never get out. And she asked, how do you feel? And this is when he talked about the other daughter dying. Instead of sister, he didn't really make it known it was his daughter. He said it was her sister, but then he said it was her daughter. He said he did do a lot of drugs. He said Carly was brilliant. He knew both of their birth dates, both girls. Why do you think she did this? He said, I don't know. He said, I taught her Genesis to David. I told her she knew that her lies were wrong. I hope she finds Jesus, is what he said. They talked about Prozac. He said he couldn't believe that when he heard the testimony of these people that they put her on Prozac. He said because, and again, this is him speaking, that Ashley had been taking it when she was a teenager and she broke up with her high school sweetheart and she took the entire bottle. This is what he says that Ashley told to him, and she had to have her stomach pumped. Why would she give it to Carly? And then he said something about being the cool dad. And he said they just tried to balance his crazy with Ashley's crazy. He doesn't know what to do. They asked, do you want to get to know her again? He said, I would like to, talk to her. He said, and they said, well, when did you speak with her? He made it sound like he spoke with her early on, and that was a few times and not recently. He said something about when she called him the first time, she said she spoke with her papa, I guess it's her grandfather, and that he said, don't call your father. He'll go run right to the media. Father was saying he's an IT specialist. Try to look for me on the web. I don't really know what that meant. Like, is that he's made himself hard to find or what? But he's trying to say that he wasn't going to go on to the media, and the only reason he was doing this is because he doesn't know anything or something. And I mean, there was a lot of that. So, I mean, it leaves you, I think, with more questions than anything not. I mean, there's a lot more I would have asked him. But again, I wasn't the person interviewing him. So, yeah, we've got that. Let me just check where you guys are. And this is not. Hang on. Find the live. Next up, we're going to take a little look at what's been going on with Gypsy Rose. And I don't know what YouTube did, okay, to their structure. There's something so wrong with my the way my chat shows. Hi Oliver, hi Kate O, hi little lady, hi Shay, how are you? Hi everybody over here. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying. Hi Fracy, how are you? Sassy Darcy, hello there. Oh, and I'm it's crazy. Kevin says how many have been killed with eye drops. It's crazy. Yeah, it is. Hi Galacticness, how are you? How are you all doing? I can't see a thing on this. I'm gonna go over here on this one. It doesn't let me see anything. Okay, this is much better view on this. Okay. Go over here. Interesting to find out the biodad information, yeah. Okay, so let's talk just briefly before we move on. October 1st, oh my gosh. So Gypsy Rose, she's been laying low. There's this picture that Ken posted. Let them say this is AI to the haters. He's really getting into it, but I don't think she's posting because I do think it's not because she has moved in. Some are speculating it's because she has moved in with Ken. I said that a long time ago, that she's living most of the time with Ken. I believe she's not posting because Lifetime doesn't want her posting anything. They don't want any sneak previews of their stuff. That's it. They told her lay low. Okay. She probably has a contract that says, what she can and can't do. She has apparently hinted that the, Lifetime did pick her up or whatever. I can't confirm that. This is only what I've heard, and that she's been on her friend's TikTok, which I can't see because her friend banned me because I asked a question. So, but that she's hinted around that they're filming or about Lifetime. So I think that's more likely what it is. And she had Ken do some posting for her there and be her big, strong, protective man and show they're still together. Kill two birds with one stone, right? Yeah. So she had that. Other than that, let's see. I know that she wants to do her, I believe she wants to do the reading for her audiobook. so that if you get it, you'll hear it read to you in her voice. And you know, we've talked about it before, about how Gypsy claims, you know, she's not profiting off her mother's murder. But, you know, her family has been, right? They remodeled their home with money. Mia got the car, you know, thanks Mom and Dad. And that was right after that whole Lifetime stuff. And I don't know, a lot of people are questioning, hey, how come they're profiting off the murder of Dee Dee, you know? And where did this money come from? And it's just like they feel like they funneled it through other people. And I wonder, you know, Dee Dee's family hasn't filed a wrongful death case, but it seems like they would have every right to do so, especially since Gypsy and the Blanchards are so blatantly, you know, profiting off Dee Dee's murder. They are. That's the reason Gypsy's famous or infamous, is because of Dee Dee's murder. It's not for any other reason. She would be a totally unknown if, you know, I mean, besides the scamming, but I mean, she wouldn't be known. Gypsy Rose wasn't known, you know, like that. It was like she was getting a lot of charity. Yeah, she was profiting off lies. Well, I'm saying she wouldn't be having, you know, 10 million followers on TikTok, etc., had she not killed her mother. So, yeah. She's got, you know, so you could say, oh, I'm doing my makeup tutorial or whatever, what's in my bag. But the 10 million followers didn't come because Gypsy was going to show some makeup tips, right? So yeah, it's ridiculous, and I think they could easily win a civil case for wrongful death, and then show where that money was funneled. Go really subpoena everyone from HBO to Lifetime, etc., and go on, and maybe Ryan will come forth with his knowledge if he really wants to do some good. But I think he's still in love with her, which is very hard to comprehend, especially if they would watch the interviews, guys. Watch the interviews. My goodness. Okay, and it's absolutely nutty that they have not watched the interviews. So, I just can't believe it. But I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight because I'm tired. I want to get up early and do some packing. It's been a really other long day. I know. Sorry for getting off schedule. We're going to be back in the grind soon. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. I'll see you later. Oh, I wanted to I am so sorry. Hold on a minute. I told you I was going to look at some of the North Carolina damage, and I'm going to be true. Okay, let's take a look over here. Sorry about that. I am so sorry. So yeah, it's very bad. Okay, Asheville, North Carolina is a place that was hit really, really hard. Let me get something up here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Don't know why this is so tiny. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so storm survivors at a PAC shelter are still in shock in Asheville. Everyone is sheltering at AB Tech. They had a story to tell about surviving Hurricane Helene. One survivor whose trailer is now underwater, James Yolande Ferguson, 52 years old, said this was shocking to everybody. He said he had received the warning that Helene was headed towards Asheville, but he didn't think it was going to be that bad. At first, he decided to stay put, but when the storm got a whole lot worse, and he said, we have to get out of here. He said a neighbor drove him to higher ground before the low-lying area where they lived was inundated by floodwaters. He said the water came up to the roof of his home, lifted it off its moorings before it slammed it into another trailer. When the waters receded a bit, he was able to get back to his trailer and salvage some clothes and other items. But there's no power in his neighborhood. People have been using boats to rescue people trapped in their homes. It's down bad. He said it's scary. He said that this is the third shelter he's been in since his home was destroyed. He doesn't know where he'll end up next. Then another person, Sabrina Ledford, she was forced to evacuate her home in Asheville's inundated River Arts District, and she knew the hurricane was coming from watching TV. She's angry that the first warning she got from the city about potential flooding was after the flooding had started. She said that, and I quote, because we have such a large population that is forced to live outside, I feel like they should have went around and warned people that a hurricane was coming. Ouch, my goodness. Let's split this. Ben Nowling, who lives in West Asheville, arrived at the shelter after a tree crashed through the window of her home on Friday. She said she had just taken a bath and was sitting down at dinner when it happened. Nowling, who lives with a nephew, said the power went out. She said that she knew it was time to go. She has medical issues and cannot live without electricity. Material stuff can be replaced. I just have to start from fresh here, she said. Kind of at a loss of what to do. The shelter is in need of more water, clothing, and toiletries. As someone checks out, we get someone else checking in, but most everybody's cooperating. They know it's going to take everybody working together to make it work. It's times like this that we see the communities come together. Over here, let's see what we got going on. Let's check out something else because I had another. Okay, I'm going to pull this over here. At least 133 deaths in 6 southeastern states have been attributed to the storm that inflicted damage from Florida's Gulf Coast to the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. The toll steadily rose as emergency workers reached areas isolated by collapsed roads, fallen infrastructures, and widespread flooding. During a briefing on Monday, the White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall suggested as many as 600 people haven't been accounted for as of Monday afternoon, saying some might be dead. The president said he will travel to North Carolina on Wednesday to meet with officials and take an aerial tour of Asheville. Okay, let's go over here and take a look. The mountain city of Asheville reported 30 people killed due to the storm. Several other fatalities reported in North Carolina pushed the death toll to at least 91 people across several states. Supplies were being airlifted to the region. We hear you. We need food. We need water. My staff has been making every request. Okay, so let's see. There was something about stuff being delivered by mule. Now it's saying that the death toll. Let me see here. Officials in the hard-hit tourism hub of Asheville said their water system suffered catastrophic damage that could take weeks to fully repair. Government officials, aid groups, and volunteers were working to deliver supplies by air, truck, and even mule to the town and surrounding mountain communities. At least 40 people died in the county that includes Asheville. The North Carolina death toll included one horrific story after another of people who were trapped by floodwaters in their homes and vehicles or who were killed by falling trees. A courthouse security officer died after being submerged inside his truck. A couple and a 6-year-old boy waiting to be rescued on a rooftop drowned when part of their home collapsed. Unbelievable. It says over here that Helene killed and destroyed far and wide from Tampa to Atlanta to Asheville, North Carolina. Having high winds, heavy rains, and sheer size, it created a perfect mix for devastation. It was large, about 350 miles wide. It was strong. Winds reached 140 miles per hour when it made landfall late Thursday. It created widespread storm surge. Oh my gosh, my mouse just fell. It carried heavy rains. Now I gotta find my battery. Here it is. And it was fast. That was the speed of it, which was, I think, shocking to a lot of people, was the mere speed of it, right? It was fast. And its destruction was fast. He compared, let's see, who's this? That's Dan Brown, who's from the National Hurricane Center near Miami, compared the geographic scale of Helene's destruction to 1972's Hurricane Agnes and 1989 Hurricane Hugo and 2004's Hurricane Ivan. Hold on, now my mouse just fell and now my mouse is not working. Hang on a minute. Hang on, please. Hold on, I'm trying to get my mouse back together. Okay, it's gotta go this way. Alright, now turn it. There we go, okay. All fixed. Systems that get very powerful, large, and fast-moving, unfortunately, do bring the potential for impact and damage well inland. Let's see, this is in St. Petersburg. People have their furniture outside. Just waiting. Okay. We made our case. We told people what they needed to do, and they chose otherwise, said Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. He expressed his frustration in issuing evacuation orders is not a decision that's made lightly. Many who ignored officials then called for help as some sort of refuge in their attics from the rising waters. Deputies tried to help using boats and high-profile vehicles, but they couldn't reach many neighborhoods. One person, let's see, Susan Sauls Hartway had evacuated her seaside home, and it was gone when she returned on Friday. In Georgia, after making landfall, Helene spread into Georgia. Among more than 20 dead were a 27-year-old mother and her 1-month-old twins, who died on Friday when trees fell on their house in Thompson, just west of Augusta. An 89-year-old woman was killed when trees fell on her house nearby. Wow. 27-year-old mother and her 1-month-old twins. My goodness. Rhonda Bell and her husband were spending a sleepless night in the downstairs bedroom of their 100-year-old plus home outside of Valdosta when Helene's center passed shortly after midnight. The winds broke off limbs, tore away the neighbor's shingles, knocked down a fence, panels in the neighborhood with train tracks along one edge. Then a towering oak tree crashed through the roof of an upstairs bedroom. I just felt the whole house shake. Thank God we're both alive to tell about it. Atlanta was hit with 11 inches of rain, the heaviest 48-hour downpour since the city began keeping records in 1878. Streets flooded, submerging cars. Firefighters rescued at least 20 people. Okay. And then it moved into Asheville region, cutting off most communication and making the roads impassable. More than 1,000 miles away in Texas, Jessica Dreyer Turner begged on Facebook Friday for someone to rescue her family members who were stranded on their rooftop in Asheville. But in a follow-up message Saturday, Turner said the roof had collapsed before help could arrive, and that her parents, both in their 70s, and her 6-year-old nephew had drowned. That's horrible. I cannot convey in words the sorrow, heartbreak, and devastation my sisters and I are going through. Jeff Wensterman and his wife Lisa, friends of the Turners, said that they had spoken to the Turners after she posted the initial plea for help. At her request, they messaged members of the village church in Flower Mound, Texas, where they all attend to pray for the family's safety back in North Carolina. I just thought they were going to be rescued, he said. I asked everyone to pray, and they did. And after a couple of hours, her husband called me, completely distraught, and said, we lost them. They all drowned. The storm was especially deadly in South Carolina. The biggest impact appeared to be fallen trees. The storm was producing tornadoes in the state. In Saluda County, 2 firefighters were killed when a tree fell on their truck while they were answering a call. In Greenville County, 4 people were killed by falling trees. 4 people were also killed in Aiken County by falling trees on homes, including a 78-year-old husband and a 74-year-old wife. Tennessee, Helene's heavy rains caused the state's eastern rivers to overflow. Their banks threatened to break dams, endangering those living nearby and forcing them to flee. Patients and others at a hospital near the North Carolina border had to be evacuated to the roof Friday when torrents from the overflowing Nolichucky River rushed into the building. Wow. Okay. So yeah, a lot of devastation. Keep people in your prayers, and again, now I'll say it. Now I'll say goodnight to you guys. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, take care. Bye bye now.